Recently, I've been seeing a lot of comments. It's not even just recently. It's been, for weeks that are, claim that something nefarious is going on with the coroners. Okay, that they're taking a camera and stuffing into the body bag, and then something else they put into the body bag, instead of just realizing that that's probably what they do to keep everything connected, to her. Or they want to make sure it gets back to whatever items they're putting in there. They want to make sure it gets back to their facility. All right. Now, I know there's people that edit videos, okay? And I'm going to edit this video a little bit. I'm going to blur out Kenneka's face, okay? Now, I hope that doesn't offend some of you. I know that you're okay with when they darken an image, widen it out, use their cell phone and wiggle it around and view it, right? But if I blur out a face, all of a sudden now I'm editing a video. Okay, I'm doing it because out of respect. I know I made another video where you do see her sitting there when I was trying to explain the photographs that were being taken by police and how it matches the narrative of what went on, and I feel bad about that. I wasn't being sensitive when I did that. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was just watching, focused in on the time that the watch photos were taken. I mean, the watch, there was two guys that took photos. Okay. Now, also there's another thing. Like this guy right here, I was kind of hard on him in another video saying, wow, he just looks like he's not dressed very well. Notice the gloves he's got on there, the black ones. All right. Let's keep that in mind. All right. The thing is I actually called up this funeral home to ask them questions, and I spoke with the older guy that's in the video. All right. I asked about, like, why is that guy dressed so poorly like that? Like and he goes, well, we get called at 3 a.m. We're dead asleep, and we have to hurry up and get out there. So, yes, we don't dress. And sometimes we have to go into sewers. Sometimes we have to go into crazy places. So we don't dress well. And I thought, wow, that actually makes sense. So, keep that in mind, all right? So, what he told me on the call that I made was that a lot of times they just hurry up and wait. They just stand around doing absolutely nothing. Okay, so there's like a bag that looks like, I think that guy's like the head person of the two. And he handed him a bag, and then I guess he's probably going to go back and collect something off the ground. I'm sure he's not putting a surveillance camera in there because the police are right there. It's not like he's trying to hide anything. All right, so he came back with a bag, and now the bag has I believe that the bag right there has the watch, the navel ring, and a band, okay? And then he just put that over there on the counter. Yeah. All right. Now, the coroner goes over there, and this is where they take photos. And I actually think the photo that we see, this photo right here, is the one he took because he had his phone in portrait mode. Where the other guy in black here, he filmed in landscape. See that? So his image would have been, I guess that's possible that he took that one and they just rotated it and then wrote on the top. Because if you notice, this is even upside down. The watch should be the other direction. So I don't really know who took the picture. I don't really care which one of these two cops took this picture. But that is when this picture was taken. Look at that, 4:57 right there. All right, and then it says obtained from. So right at that moment, puts them back in the bag, and then hands it over to the officer. And it's still 4:57 in that hour, 4:57 in that minute. All right, so basically right now they're just going to be waiting around for the mother to come in. Teresa. Okay, now here's one of the supposedly nefarious moments. All right, now he's got items in his hand. He's going to try to put it in his pocket, and he doesn't do it, and then he comes over and tucks it really quick into the body bag. Now, here are the two different explanations for this. Watch. This one will be the conspiracy theory version. All right, let's try it. Okay, look at that. They just took the camera off. Nobody was around. They took the camera off. Now look at, he's coming around the corner. He was putting something, and he goes, oh, he saw the cop, and he quickly rushed over, tucked it in really quick before the cop could see it. Ooh, ooh. Got away with it. Ooh, wow. Or, from a, just a regular perspective, they're waiting for the mother to come in, right? So they're walking over, and he's thinking, okay, where can let's put these in the body bag so we have them later. Oh, wait, the mother might be coming in. See, the cops are coming back, and, okay, the mother's not coming now, so relax a little bit. That seems more likely to me than that there was a surveillance camera that they removed. That doesn't make any sense at all. Now notice the blur I have here, her face is showing right there. And they did take some time, even made sure that the blanket was clean and everything when he put the blanket on there. And I guess now they just kind of wait. That's what he told me, that they just spend a lot of time just waiting and waiting and waiting at these scenes that they go to. So everyone's analyzing every little move that they make. Oh my God, look at, he's blowing his nose. Oh, wow. Maybe he's got a cold, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. The same thing happens when people are being interrogated. Like I don't know if any of you ever watched the Justin Ross Harris case when, he was in interrogation. He didn't look and act exactly how everyone thinks they would act. Therefore, he's guilty. The jury did find him guilty, but that case was totally bogus. The way that case was prosecuted. Okay, and it gave me less hope in the jury system and how prosecutors work. Sometimes they do some real shady stuff. In that case, that's the case where the baby died in a hot car death. And, a lot of people listening to this right now aren't going to agree with me. And maybe they'll be upset and unfollow because I say that, but he didn't do it intentionally, okay? That's what people want to think, but he didn't. And there's so much evidence that he didn't. But the police painted a narrative of it being intentional early on, and even with provable lies, okay, that were provable. But it was too late. The public and the jury pool was already tainted by that information. But anyways, I made a few videos on that a while back. I just call it like I see it. I don't get caught up in the hype. That's why in this case I don't believe it was a murder. I don't think anybody intentionally killed her. If somebody gave her a drug, then they had a hand in her death because she wasn't able to think through how to get out of that freezer. And she wouldn't even have been that intoxicated walking around aimlessly. All right, let me get back. There was something. Okay, now notice in his hand right here, he's got a bag with, you know, looks like something black, and then right there he hands it to the guy. You see him kind of turn and hand it to him. All right, I missed that part earlier. I wanted you to see that though. So he handed that to him. All right, now let's get back to about where we were. Yeah, I mean, so look how much just standing around they do. You know, at one point the younger guy actually notices the surveillance camera and kind of looks at it for a while. You know, doesn't mean anything, right? Ooh, a surveillance camera. Oh, he must be up to something if he's looking at it. I'm just glad he didn't make some faces, because you guys would be all over that guy. Even more than you are. Yeah. So, you know, see right there you can see the guy moved his hand up and he had that bag in his hand. So I noticed a lot of people later on, the bag that he's holding, they edit out all the other times that you see him holding the bag to make it look like he's trying to hide something. But he's not. Okay? A couple times he's holding it right in front of police. But of course that's edited out. You know, they don't want people to see that. But see, right now it's in his hand. If he was really trying to hide that, why didn't he put that in the you know, the body bag right now or prior? Okay, so here's what I did. I actually called up these people. You know, if you look at that image that came up earlier, it has the name of their funeral home on it. So I called them and I asked, what was it that he put in there, in that bag? And they said, oh, that was a bag of black gloves. Okay, and if you look early on, the guy was wearing black gloves. And now they put the black gloves in that bag. Now, if you see how right there he just has it with him? If that's a camera, why is he just holding it all the time? Just kind of, you know, nonchalantly. Also, the weight of it kind of looks like it might be gloves. It's not, doesn't look like it has any weight to it. It's just really light. Yeah, see right there, he's holding it. That's the item that a lot of people claim is something nefarious. Yeah. So they're heading back towards the double doors that come in. I think they're saying, okay, we're going to bring her back real soon now. She's on her way. So I'm not really exactly sure if the mother's coming back right now. I know it's around this time. Okay. Maybe in a couple minutes. Let's see, the guy's still holding that item. You know, do you think somebody would be that casual with a security camera in his hands, if that's really what that was? Or all the cops in on it too? Is that what you're suggesting? Yeah. So I think, I'm not sure if it's now or, seems like I remember this guy looking up at the security camera when I was reviewing this clip. See, it takes me a while to do these videos because I actually review them, look at what I'm looking at, analyze it, and then I go over it. Okay? I don't just sort of, ooh, make it dark and wiggle it around and start saying, look at that, 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 look at that. Do you see that? You see that? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. See right there, he's looking at the camera. Right? He's like, hey, look at that security camera. He's just, you know, tired. Look how sleepy that guy is, man. They woke him up. You know, shit, probably, 3 in the morning. You know, he didn't try to get out of view of the camera, though, did he? He's just right there. He doesn't care. He knows where everything is. And now we know that he knows there's a security camera there. Yet he still walks around with the, quote, other security camera in his hands. Yep. So, yeah. Looks really tired. They're still waiting for Teresa to come in. You know, someone on YouTube actually said, "You know what, Gray? You're full of it, man. Your videos look too clear. The surveillance footage looks too clear. You cleaned it up too much." And I'm like, "No, this is actually what they look like." And then he said, "Oh, look, there's a surveillance camera right there." He told the other guy that. Okay. Not sure what this is right there. But, oh, my Creative Cloud account. Great. The Creative Cloud made a cameo on my my video. Yeah, so he said, "Hey, look, there's a surveillance camera." And no, he didn't hide from it either. Yeah, but these people think, "Oh, it's too clear." Well, the thing is, I'm using the real footage, capturing it right off the screen in its real size, and then I bring it in to Adobe Premiere, and then I scale it up, but I leave the aspect ratio the same, and everything's the same. I don't try to darken it to, sell some sort of eerie feeling to people. All right. Okay, so thank you was saying, "Okay, we're ready. You can come in, come back here." Okay, there's Teresa and I think her daughter. All right, now as this officer walks away, he stops and says, "Oh, and that's the surveillance camera right up there. That's the camera that we can see her coming here." All right. If there was actually another camera above that door, I think they would just, of the freezer, and they actually had that footage, they would have seen it and told her about that too. But I don't even think they would even mention this camera if there was one above the freezer. They'd say, "See that camera above the freezer? Look. That's the one." Anyhow, they take her back into the freezer, the cooler first, and then they show her in the freezer. And yeah, I mean, I bet none of this makes sense to her. She's like, "How did this happen? How could this happen?" Well, when you drink and it's mixed with that drug, I think it was Topiramax, or not sure exactly if that's what the name was, but turns out it really gets you off balance and has a pretty bad effect. And she was just walking aimlessly through the hotel, no direction at all. She even went back into the lower kitchen area when she left it. She could have gone up those steps and been back up on the main lobby level. And she looks by one more time, and Teresa and her daughter leave. Okay. Now these guys are trying to get out of here as quick as possible. So as soon as she leaves the room, they start getting ready to transport. So they work together and fold up the blanket, nice and neat. I mean, I just don't see anything nefarious that they're doing. I know what's funny is you can't see them when they go back here. So everybody claims they're doing all this crazy stuff, yet they can't believe Kenneka went into the freezer when you can't see her after she goes around that corner. So They'll say that, oh, they took a surveillance camera and they did all this other stuff when they went out of sight back there. But Kenneka couldn't have just went through those freezer doors on her own. Okay? It's amazing that they won't believe that Kenneka went through into the freezer, but they believe that they took the security cameras. Yeah. So the thing is whatever he had, that bag that he had earlier with the gloves in it, I don't even think he did anything with it. Like maybe he just has it in his jacket or something. Because I don't really... Okay, it's right... Okay, there it was. Let's see. Yeah, so he had it in his hand, but he was just talking, gesturing, but it was just happened to be in his hand. It's not like he was talking about the item that's in his hand. All right? Now, there's even a time where the officer comes in and he's still holding it. Okay, so that's a bag with the black gloves that he was wearing, maybe even the ones he was wearing too, if he was wearing them, but they're in that bag. All right? See right there, he's got him in his hand. He doesn't care that that officer saw that, right? So maybe, yeah, there he is. He's got it again. Let's just track this bag for a minute. So he's got that in his hand still. The nefarious camera in the bag that you'd think he would have just already had gotten rid of, but he just keeps walking around with it. Okay. Now you don't see it anymore at this point. I don't know where he put it or whatever, but there's nothing, nefarious about that bag. All right. He held it, plain view of the officers, everybody. He was just walking around with it for a long time. And, hell, maybe he just threw it in the garbage, to be honest. I don't know, but he definitely didn't care that anybody saw him holding it. All right. So hopefully, this sheds a better light on the situation. So ask yourself the question, those two scenarios of that item that they put in there. You could either think it was negative or not. I gave you my two versions. But also ask yourself, why are you so willing to believe that he stole the security camera from over here off camera? You can't see him, right? But you're not willing to believe that when you see Kenneka walk back there and they find her in the freezer back there, why aren't you able to believe that she was alone? She's the only one that came by on the surveillance footage. All right? Okay, well, that's all I got for you on this topic. Hopefully this sheds some light. You can watch it on your own, make your own decisions. But I just don't see anything, that points to any kind of cover-up at all. All right? Zero. And if anybody could really find me something that really points to it, I'd be really appreciative.